No, I'm unable to mute
Okay,
people.
I can mute people from here. I can control it here now. Samuel, can you do that from your end too?
No, I can't.
I can.
Okay, great. Guys, we are live on YouTube. So Simon, can you please get the YouTube link for us? Okay, great.
Let's make progress.
Okay, great. Prof is ready for us. Let me copy the YouTube link, then send to okay, great. Okay, thank you so much for joining us. And we want to welcome you to another session of the Nigerian Forestry Student and Graduate Roundtable discussion. And over the past few editions, we've had great outcomes. Then we've had several testimonies, like people getting renewed interest in forestry. And then we can boldly say that over the past few events, we've reached out to over 500 forestry students in Nigeria, and then as well people abroad, and that is a kind of plus for us. Okay, great. I want to welcome you again to another edition. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for believing in this dream. Thank you for believing in this vision. And then we want to appreciate you. Thank you. Today we'll be looking at the future of forestry profession in Nigeria. And then we have, we'll be hosting our father. You know, when you talk of father, when you talk of fathers of forestry in Nigeria, is someone we can say most of us look up to as far as forestry in Nigeria is concerned. And then, okay, thank you so much. And I would like to welcome Meshach to say one or two things before we kickstart fully.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. I'm also welcoming everyone, just like right? And we won't just be like those who study a course and are just pulling out of it, not seeing future about it. And that is the essence of today, talking about the future of forestry profession in Nigeria. And on my part, I welcome Prof to our presence. Louis, you can take over.
Okay, thank you so much. And before we continue, before we introduce Professor Adeshola formally, I would like to, we have in our midst the Vice President of the International Forestry Student Association right here in our midst, and we would love that he gives the welcome address. Simon, over to you. Can we have you welcome Prof and every one of us? Hello, Simon. Can we have your video on?
I'm here.
Okay, please go ahead. Let's have the welcome address from you.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
So, as I'm the new IFSA Vice President, I'm a forestry student from Italy, and as IFSA, we're really happy to see that this great project going ahead of having this roundtable where you invite students, where you still have a discussion even if due to the pandemic, like universities are closed. And so really happy to see this and to support this. I think also Alex is going to have a quick presentation on IFSA in general in Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Simon. Thank you. I would also like to hear one or two things from Alex, is the coordinator, joint IFSA task force on forestry education. Alex, can we quickly have something quick from you? 1 minute, please.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. I'm very glad to be here and welcome, Prof. My name is Alex Onatigi, and I'm the IFSA coordinator for the joint IFSA task force on forest education. And I'm glad to have Prof here this morning. Good morning, Prof. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Alex. And before the end of the event, we'll be having a quick, a short presentation from Alex. And now, 1, 2, 3, go. Yeah, once again, I want to welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for believing in this vision. And then I want to say a big thank you to you. And on behalf of our team, we want to say thank you so much for joining us. Now, I would love to welcome Prof officially now that we are set. Good morning, Professor Adepoju.
Good morning. And trust everybody's okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We're okay, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. We are happy to have you join us, sir.
A pleasure.
Okay, and because of our time, we wouldn't want to take much time on the introduction. And then we would love to, I know we have people following us on YouTube. Please, for your information, you can follow the YouTube link on the chat box. Feel free to share with friends and colleagues. Tell people to join us so that we can have some other networks right now. Okay, great. Now to the event of the day. Okay, sir, can we hear from you? Can you please tell us a quick story, or probably a short story about your journey to the forestry world?
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Let me just not take too much of your time. Let me just observe the already well-established protocol. If you are not in the forest or forest sector, I want to just say a statement that the person is still missing. My journey to forest sector wasn't as easy as it looks now. Everyone in the school then, particularly secondary school, A levels, is dreaming to become either a medical doctor, a lawyer, a pharmacist, engineer, and all of that. So you hardly find anybody except few willingly choosing any other thing other than those possibly looking creative profession. But as the fate will have it, I was compelled to go to Agri to study B Agri. And on finishing my B Agri and my MSc in the Faculty of Agri, I find myself in the Federal College of Forestry, Jos, where I had to work. And then I begin to understand the versatility of the field of forestry and how contemporary in nature it looks like. And that's why even in the Yoruba Palace, they will tell you that Igbeluwa. There are so many people in the city.
That's true.
Who go to the bank, you see them with tie, stash shirts. But when you go to their financial nitty-gritty, you find that most of them are on credit. It's just a forced life. But when you go to the rural area where the farmers are, you can hardly find any farmer with BP or with diabetes, because they are just in tune with nature and 10 times richer than those who are tie in town. So it's been a destined journey for me. And if I have 10 times to take the decision again, I will choose no other field other than the field of forestry, because it's inexhaustible and it's ever relevant and contemporary in nature. So that's not to take your time, that's the few comments I can make on how I journey into the field of forestry. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. That's a great story. And it gives us, sir, from the experience generally, people have been asking themselves questions. We received several messages on our Facebook, on our email, agreeing that but their disagreement is coming from the fact that is it worth practicing in Nigeria? The Nigeria. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you take that question again?
Okay. People agree. They're in agreement that forestry profession is a good profession, and that there's a future for it. But their disagreement comes from the fact that is it worth practicing in Nigeria specifically? Is forestry worth practicing in Nigeria?
My answer is an affirmative that is worth practicing, and it's more than any other profession as far as I'm concerned. I think the first thing is you must deal with that fact of believing that is an inferior program or profession compared to any other profession. I may bold anywhere to tell anybody who cares to listen that that is the best profession anybody can practice, because it's in and off season. That's even after your legitimate secular years in service, you are still practicing forestry. But other professions, when people are retired or left the service, they are more or less irrelevant. But it's more than worth practicing, and that's why I keep telling people to pay visit to Forestry Research of Nigeria and see whether there is anything that we are doing that is not worth practicing. I doubt if there's any week that will not receive either an international visitor or a national visitor coming to see how to key into what we are doing here and expressing that they never believed in the profession as it were now. They thought it was just all about seedling raising and all of that. If it's not worth practicing, we won't have the breakthrough we have during the COVID-19. It still remains the only institute in the country who was able to come out with 2 novel products that were able to assist in managing the COVID-19. So it's more than worth practicing in Nigeria. It's just that we have to believe in ourselves, believe in the profession, and make bold to tell anybody about the profession. Thank you.
Wow. Hello.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for affirming that forestry is worth practicing in Nigeria, and thank you for bringing hopes to so many people listening and hearing you speak this morning. Thank you for restoring our hope, sir. Okay, and to the next question, sir. And I would like to ask, most people in Nigeria, in fact, when we have people ask us questions, as someone who studied forestry or who is still studying forestry, and then someone who is still studying forestry, and I would like to ask, sir, that apart from the research institution and the universities, you know, there has been questions that, okay, after graduation, where can I work? Where can I be relevant? You know, apart from finding answers around it, it's always good to hear from one of our fathers who has been to several places all over the world. Sir, I would like to bring the questions of so many Nigerian students to you this morning, that apart from the forestry, the research, or which other areas can someone who studied forestry venture into?
Let me first give you a blunt answer to that, that there's no way a forester cannot work. Then let me now expand that by telling you that that's what I meant when I said we have to open up. You may not be aware that even in the villa, there are ornamentals, there are hardwood, there are animals, and there are a micro forest around the presidential villa. Now, if we don't make the field look important, to an ordinary man, he will treat that environment as bush. But I can tell you that at least I have a boy who read forestry. His name is Musa, who is in the villa. Because we have convinced the villa, there's need for somebody to be there to manage that microenvironment. And as I speak to you, I'm in partnership with NIA. That's the National Intelligence Agency, who we have also made to believe that their location has a microclimate there that cannot be tampered with. And we have told them the implication of not managing that. So if our MOU is crystallized, it then means in the NIA rank and file, there will be foresters because somebody has to manage it. So there's nowhere the forester cannot work. It's we that will have to make that place known. Because there's, if you go to CBN, and like I was part of what I may not want to open up here, we're just fighting through to let even the finance sector know that forest products are not the same thing as agricultural products. So and we are trying to establish that under the gross domestic product of the country, there's a line for forestry and forestry products to see what we're also contributing to the GDP of the country. So when that is established, somebody has to be in finance to be a desk for that. We've also made the edge to know that you could even spend less on drugs. You can stress less the doctors if every home is aware that green around his home will strengthen his health and reduce his challenges of health. It then means in Ministry of Health, there will be need for desks for somebody to tell them which kind of trees and plants will be ideal for your home in Kano, will be ideal for your home in Ibadan, will be ideal for your home in Port Harcourt. I will be in Port Harcourt in the next 1 or 2 weeks because we'll be able to convince them that you can't do Ogoni cleanup without the ecosystem restoration. When it's clean up, if you plant trees or shrub like Jatrova, it will suck up the leftover that you could not remediate. It's not the chemist that will do that job, it's a forester that will do that job. So my job and others who are privileged to be on top is to preach to the policymakers why the forest sector is important in almost every sector. In America, the budget on environment is far ahead of that of defense because somebody somewhere who is responsible to let the power that be knows the importance of Environment did its job. So we on top, is our job to let people who are in charge of authorities and policies know the importance of this field. And that's why we have developed a policy here. As long as I'm here till I leave, nobody is coming into this system except the foresters. Because this is the only way we can make it known everywhere. I don't need an accountant because accountant cannot plant for me. I don't need an administrator because they are overwhelming here. If the number of support staff that I have here are foresters, then you will not be wondering whether the field is important or not. So this is what we must do, and this is what we are doing. And I am glad to tell you that the current Minister of Environment is an environmentalist to the core, and a forester by extension who knows the importance of the field, and who is fighting all the way through the seat of power to justify the importance of this sector. And I can tell you that the future will smile on us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, can we have you next question?
That's as a follow-up question to about the profession. Now, let's assume that someone is not able to get a job in government, or someone is unable to work in a government sector generally. What are the private actions in the private sectors that people can take on and start themselves, small businesses that goes around forestry that can be profitable for people, that they can start on their own if they don't get a job in the government sector?
I'm happy for that question, because that's exactly what our colleges were established to do. You may be aware that the colleges of Forestry Research Institute of Nigeria has increased from 4 to 7, just to get a good balance distribution across the 6 geopolitical zone. Now, this administration has been able to do what had not been done before. There are 3 different projects across the country now that's addressing forest cover. There is what we call Green Bond, which I also coordinate the environment aspect of it, and that's about planting. We have the NFTF, that's the National Forest Trust Fund, which that's also complementing the Green Bond afforestation. Then we have the pledge of Mr. President. You may be aware that September 23rd last year in Onga in New York, Mr. President pledged that the country will plant 25 million trees, which the Honorable Minister had been running with, and he's been able to transform that statement to minimum of 25 million trees annually. Now, we have been able to meet with we met with the Governors Forum that has also gave their promise, and they are already sending in the gazetted land surrendered to government for this planting. And this will continue. And going forward, most states has also joined in planting. So it then means even with the states, so many states now are looking for foresters, either to engage, to help them implement their planting activities. But beyond that, we're also doing something we call green economy, which had been adopted. The green economy model of Forestry Research of Nigeria had been adopted by UNESCO for Africa. And so we've trained everybody in the country, particularly we started with what the project we call Bioplants. That's training, resuscitating the ecosystem around Lake Chad. And so we've trained everybody around Lake Chad. What that means is that you can start a small enterprise that is green related. How do we mean green related? That will conserve our biodiversity system. Now, if you are into enterprises like snary, mushroom, grass cutter, all of this, you can meet the market demand. And we are ready to support and partner with whoever is willing to start, because annually there's a small budget for that to support. But we want to be sure that it's a serious, credible persons we're supporting to start that business. A snail on a table in Abuja is 1,500. So if you have a snail farm and you are turning out about 1,000 monthly after the gestation period in the circle, so you can just imagine how much you'll be making monthly. And you can't meet the demand of snail in Abuja. When we started the project in Omobaswe Reserve with the inhabitants, the first money they made from the fish pond of the state that we reactivated was 1.5 million after 3 months. So, and you cannot, if you have a king and you are smoking these fish and you package them properly, you can't meet the demand of either ShopRite or Nest or other shops, because everybody wants to eat something that is hygienically produced. So the feed is just inexhaustible in terms of prospects that it holds. It's just to take that first step of faith. If you need us to chat with you on how best to start, or how to help you source support to start, we're here. That's why we're created. That's why government is paying our salary. So that would be my answer on that. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, before I move on to the next question, two people send their regards. The Director of Forestry, Kaduna State, sends his regards to you, sir. And the Special Assistant Governor on Environment sends his regard also.
That's a good one.
Yes, sir.
But the governor of the state, we can't thank him enough, because he was the one who convinced the colleagues in the governor's forum to commit some land, deserted land, for forestation. And they all buy in after His Excellency El-Rufai made that proposal. So please continue to encourage him. He was the first governor this year to obtain 1 million seedlings from us for planting. So it's an example, exemplary leader by our standard. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, sir. So the next question is, okay, I work more in the geospatial analysis area of forestry, and we do a lot of land use assessment, land cover assessment, and also. But despite the several research that I've partook in, we always observe that deforestation is increasing, and okay, that led to asking the question of what is not the future of forests, seeing all these things from the data that we collect.
Yeah, if you look critically and if you follow the FAO recent report, determining the actual forest cover goes beyond what we're seeing. Let me give you good news that the deforestation is not as bad as it used to be. Thanks to COVID-19 and thanks, surprisingly, to the insurgents' activities that has limited people going to the forest because of fear of killing or being killed or attacked. And this has assisted in the regeneration of most land and crops. So yes, deforestation is still going on, but not as bad as we used to have. But it can be better by providing a good, clean energy as an alternative to deforestation. And that we're also discussing with government. I know my minister has met with the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum to see how we can do a joint program, because we did a small survey here. We produced 30 different kind of stuff. We produced 30 cylinder, We had 30 briquette cooking stove and 30 wood cooking stove. And we took to the rural area. But it will surprise you that even the rural dwellers pick all the gas cylinders and left us with other method of cooking, stove. So it then means if they have this cylinder, because they know that it's cheaper to use gas than to use firewood. It's cleaner to use gas than to use firewood. And it's less stressful to use gas than use, but that initial procurement of gas cylinder is the issue which we are discussing. I believe in no distant time, government will find a way of assisting the rural dwellers who are the major consumer of firewood. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. And I'm confident that a lot of foresters listening to you and following this event have gained so much hope. And I am very sure that they have a renewed and a restored hope as far as forestry is concerned in Nigeria. Thank you so much, sir. And right now, before we move on to the forestry education aspect of this program, I would like to call on Alex Onatunji. Is the IFSA Joint IUFRO task force coordinator on forestry education, for a short presentation. Then we move from there, just to look at the impact of forestry on the education part. Alex, are you online?
I'm online. I will share my screen right away.
Okay, please do.
Okay. Coming.
Okay, before Alex shares his, I would crave our indulgence that if you have any questions to ask Professor Adepoju, please, you can kindly drop your questions on the chat box so that we can take note of it, then read out to Professor Adepoju. Thank you. Alex, can we have you very quickly?
Yes. Good afternoon. Good morning. I'm glad to be here, and I'm happy to be talking to Prof. And this presentation is just to give an idea of what IFSA have been doing in Nigeria. Please, can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, yes. Please go ahead.
Okay. I'm making a presentation on what IFSA have been doing in Nigeria, just an overview between 2017 and 2020. My name is Alex Bimbo Onatunji. I'm the coordinator for the Joint IFRO IFSA Task Force on Forest Education. Just for my introduction to Prof. Prof, I'm glad that I'm a graduate of Federal College of Forestry, Ibadan, where I did wood and paper technology, and I finished 20 to serve in Federal College of Forestry, Jos in 2019. I'll just give a brief overview. And in 2017, more than 40 Nigerian students participated in the Northern African Regional Meeting of IFSA at the University of Energy and Natural Resources in Sunyani, Ghana. And following that event, there was an essay competition that followed. There was an essay competition that followed the 7th Forest Science Symposium in South Africa. The Nigerian. Can you mute him? Mezak, please mute him. Okay, can I continue, Mezak? Adeshola.
Yes, you can continue.
Yes, you can continue, yes.
Okay. The 7th Forest Science Symposium in South Africa. The JTF organized a essay competition, and a Nigerian student by name Abisoye Dimitope from Futa emerged as the overall winner and was sponsored to the 7th Forest Science Symposium in South Africa. That was in 2017 too. By 2018, Nigeria hosted the Northern African Regional Meeting of IFSA with more than 500 students attending the opening ceremony. To the best of my knowledge, this is the largest in IFSA so far. 500 students attending an opening ceremony of an event hosted by IFSA. Also, the first African Northern The first African strategic meeting of 2019 also was held in Ghana, and 3 of the officials, the person in black, myself wearing a native, bright, we are from Nigeria, and we participated in the strategic meeting, which culminated in the Africa with Desire for Forestry Students. This was a meeting highly praised by IFSA, and which we also got an award of IFSA Official of the Month, March 2019. By March also, I was in Ghana. I was sponsored to represent Nigeria in the African Climate Week and also the International Day of Forestry celebration in Accra, Ghana. And we have a meeting with the FAO Forestry in Africa during this opportunity there. I am the man in white. And then in May 2019, one of the delegates to UNFF was a Nigerian. You can see her picture is the one that I used red. She attended the meeting, and we are glad that she represented us. By June 2019, we had a meeting in University of Ilorin, enhancing forestry education through Student Association, the Better by Far experience. This event was sponsored by the IFSA Development Fund in June 2019 and had people attending from various universities across the country. By December 2019, vlogging took Oluwaseun to COP25. Oluwaseun is the lady by the left. She's from Futa in Nigeria, and she was one of the 2 persons sponsored by IFSA and UNED. Also, there was a special report on forest education, of which Nigeria is one of the 3 African countries represented. Now, just lastly, but before I round up with this, also there are quite a lot of other things going on in IFSA, which Nigeria students are benefiting. We have a project running, the Young African Forestry Publicationers Project, and so many other ideas. For example, IFSA has been supporting the Nigeria Students and Graduate Roundtable session. We have also obliged to be supporting the Young Women in African Forestry, which is an initiative from a Nigeria student. IFSA will always be ready to partner and to do everything to ensure that forest education is enhanced and made better in not only in Nigeria, but in the world generally. I'm also glad to report to us this morning that IFSA ranks #1 with 10 LCs in the whole world. So IFSA is #1 in terms of membership in the whole world. IFSA has 10 LCs, universities or colleges represented. And this is just out of more than 50. So Prof, I want to say thank you for coming. And this is just little of the things which IFSA have done in Nigeria and will keep doing. Thank you, sir.
Wow. Thank you so much, Alex. Thank you for that presentation and for giving us a great and quick Thank you for giving us a quick overview of what forestry education is like in Nigeria and some of those things forestry students are doing. Okay, a quick one. Before we take the general questions, and then we'll be leaving very soon. Before we take the general questions, I would like to bring a message from the NAM representative in Africa. So he's sending his regards to Professor Adepoju for the financial support they gave towards the NAM 2016 at the Federal University of Technology, Akure. And he's by name Adaramuye Israel. He's sending his regards to Prof, and he's saying a very big thank you to Professor Adepoju and for the Forestry Research Institute of Nigeria for supporting NAM 16. Okay, great. And I'll be taking the last question from here before we take the general question now. And then I would love to know I would love to ask Prof that, okay, going by the fact that we've had support for some of the IFSA events in Nigeria from a friend, which is great, and also for the fact that most of us, we come to FRAIN for our industrial training, to get knowledge, to learn better ways of doing things as far as forestry is concerned. I want to ask if there's any other support that we don't know other than these two that I've mentioned that FRAIN can give to students, apart from the industrial attachment that people come to FRAIN. Some people come to FRAIN to serve for their National Youth Service Corps. I want to know if FRAIN has another plan, probably to support students' research, to support whatever students are doing.
Thank you. Before I go to that, let me quickly mention two issues relating to what we have talked about this morning. One is to encourage the forestry students, graduates, or professionals that nobody will help you sing your praises. That we, particularly the younger ones who are in the social media space, need to make positive noise about the profession. Each time I receive a highly placed visitor in FRAIN, even yesterday, early this week, people keep saying there are a whole lot of things in forestry. So it's beyond all the trees that we just see or raising seedling, but people need to talk about it. So who is going to talk about it? It's those who are in the social media space. What do you use as your hashtag? What do you use as your DP? What do you coin with your joke? So this must be embraced. Then following that is to let us know that, but for COVID-19, FRAIN and Nigeria by extension was to host the whole world this year on man and biosphere issue. That's what come up. That is going to assemble about 400 international citizens to this country, but tentatively still being postponed to June next year, which will still be in touch with you. This is where a lot of donors, corporate body will be attending. So you should be packaging your association, your group, your activities ahead of them. Even if it's a poster presentation at that program, even if it's on the space of the advert that in forestry feed, who is doing this in Nigeria. Don't look at it that it's not being perfected yet. No, just start from somewhere. That's why you see the US up to now have not been able to put on the table the vaccine against COVID because it's still on trial. So whatever you are able to do, don't be shy about it. Bring it out. That idea alone will attract comments that will better the idea. Now, going to what you said, there's Forestry Research of Nigeria is like the lab, the theater of forestry in Nigeria. And so we cannot stop assisting where it's relevant and encouraging. So if there's anybody who has any proposal, any idea where you think we can support, as long as it's forestry related, as long as it's going to encourage beyond one person, we'll find a way around it. But it's not going to just be, we need fun, no. You need to bring up a proposal, a concept note, and
Oh, I think Prof is muted. I think Prof is muted.
Is it okay now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
So that's the few points I want to make now.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. We really learned much. And then before we round up this session, and I would like to take one or two questions from our audience. Even some of them we've had questions on the chat box, and I would love Jumoke Oguntimei to take the questions one after the other, so that we can have Prof attend to some of them. Hello, Jumoke. Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, please, can you take the questions one after the other?
Yes, please. Okay, let me read one. There's a question here from Shadrach Nathan. So his question is this, that he wants to ask Prof if there is any set out internship scheme within FRIN or IFSA established for graduates, so as to introduce and open them up to the FRIN mandate, connecting with practicing professionals and to establish them as well. Did you get that?
Yes, there is, but we need to see the proposal. I got your question, but there is, but we need to see what the document is all about. Because so many people comes in the name of internship, but the intention really is we get engaged in your system to work for you. And like I said, the first point of call for anybody working in the forestry sector is FRIN. And so, but it's better you come straight. If you have an idea you want us to partner with you or support you in terms of facilitating it, that's welcome, but it should not be mixed up with looking for a job. Thank you.
Okay. Another question.
Hey, Jimmy, are you still up?
I think she's having issues.
Oh, okay. I think there's a question here from, I can see from Dr. Fola Babalola. The question is...
From Semisope Rebecca. In terms of
okay, go ahead. Hello, Jumoke, please go ahead.
Yes. Okay. All right. Another question from Semisope Rebecca. Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
I'm hearing you.
He wants to know if there is any support in terms of land availability to start a business in forestry, such as snailry.
It depends on our location. Where is she located?
Ibadan, precisely, actually.
She may need to see us.
Okay. So can she just walk into your office to see you concerning this?
Yes, I know. You know how tough my office is to assess me. But it's easier to send a mail.
Okay.
Then that can be arranged.
Okay, sir. All right.
Let us send
another
me a
question
mail.
for you, sir.
So you are my staff. You should have my email, so you can avail the coordinator my email. So if anybody asks or need anything, they can easily just send me a mail.
Okay, sir. Thank you for that, sir. Another question for you from a student of Federal College of Forestry. So this guy wants to know the job opportunities available for forestry students, as a lot of students from Federal College of Forestry are still out there seeking job.
That's why we have enforced the policy that says, as for now, and I don't know to when, the only people that can come into forestry and its colleges are only forestry-related field. So as to see how much we can mop up those who are outside, and also connect them to other organizations that are opening up for forestry as a discipline.
Okay, sir. Thank you. All right. And this should be the last one from Dariago. He said he is currently working on a tree planting project in Taraba State. And he wants to know if there is any support available to forestry students that can be exploited.
Yes, the time of seedling support. If you also want us to talk to the government of Taraba, we can easily do that. But you need to see us so that we can link he or she up with the relevant authority there.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I think that will be. That's all.
Thank you so much, Jumoke. A quick one. I can see Dr. Fala Babalola here, and he asked a question that. Okay, let me just read his question. He said he's saying special appreciation to Prof for the effort in tree planting so far. Some of us have NGO that is into tree planting projects. Is there a way FRIN is partnering with NGOs in carrying out tree planting projects in Nigeria? How can NGO emerge meeting for discussions on this?
Yes, let me tell you, there's a body, which a national body, which I'm a member, and I'm also the chairman of the technical committee of also that group. Is the National Forest Trust Fund. I take that again, National Forest Trust Fund. The secretariat is in the Federal Ministry of Environment in Abuja. I'm a member and the chairman of the subcommittee on technical committee. Now, that fund is to support any group of Nigerians who is promoting the sustainability of our forest. So if the NGOs can apply to that fund for support, and I can assure you, if the job is properly done, you will get support from National Forest Trust Fund.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for that. And then, okay, sir, before we leave, sir, we have.
And let me also say this, that if there are students who are in the field but having challenges, like you mentioned earlier, in the area of research in the area, I think you can also apply to NFTF for a little grant to support your studies.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for being a great father and for doing justice to the questions we have on ground today. So, very quickly, can we have a fatherly advice from you to some of our guys joining from outside the country? I'm aware that we have people joining from Canada. We have someone who is joining from France. Yeah, I can see him. Adewale Oladende is joining from France. We have Ayande Samuel is joining from Canada. Then we have some other guys too. We have some of our guys who have supported our event, this particular event, from Denmark, from UK, from Germany. So can you give a word of advice? Some of them are there for their MSc, and they hope to continue the line of research. Can we have a kind of advice from you?
My advice in general, I don't know who's in France, but at least the person will have an idea of my activities in France. I go to Paris at least twice or thrice a year. I'm a privileged member and expert on 2 committees of UNESCO. So what I just focus on what took you out there, grab what took you out there on time, and come back home to share that experience, that knowledge. Let not always be scared of if I come back, will I find something to do? There will always be something. If people like us can find something to do. It wasn't easy getting to where we are, but we fought our way through. God's supporting you, you also get there. If I can be here, my prayer has been all of you will surpass where I've been. So it's just come back home, be determined, be prayerful, be focused, be dogged, and believe that nothing is impossible. Because it's tougher outside there. The best for outside there is to go for your meetings, for your studies, and come back home. And plow back that experience and knowledge you have acquired to make Nigeria better. So that in no distant time, Nigeria will become the tourist center of the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And we have a request from Dr. Fola Babalola from the University of Ilorin. So he's requesting to say one or two to appreciate Prof. Dr. Fola, are you online? Please, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, I'm online. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah,
yes, we can hear you.
Okay. My name is Dr. Fola Babalola from the Department of Forest Resources Management, University of Ilorin. I want to especially appreciate Prof for giving his precious time to address the young foresters all over the world. We quite appreciate your efforts, sir. And most importantly, for hosting our students all over Nigeria to undertake their IT at Forest Research Institute of Nigeria, a very important aspect of their academics and their career. And so on behalf of all the universities, for those that have graduated and those that are currently undergoing their practical year training program at FRIN, we appreciate you, sir. And as they always say, we'll always come to you, we'll always ask for more, and we'll always seek for your assistance for all these young guys who are out there. Now, we appreciate you for giving them the hope today, for making them to know there's a future, there's a career, it's a laudable profession. Those of us that have been in forestry, if I come another year, I will still love to do forestry, studying BSc, MSc, PhD, postdoc, everything in forestry, from University of Ibadan, travel all over the world doing forestry, eating, drinking, sleeping, the night thing. So on behalf of these young guys too, I want to appreciate you, Prof. Sir, for giving your time. And we say kudos to you, and God will continue to bless you, empower you, and increase your grace. Thank you so much, sir. All right.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. Fola. Meshach,
yes, sir.
We are ending by 11 o'clock a.m. Can we have a quick remarks from you, Meshach?
Okay, we appreciate you, sir. My name is Meshach Adele, one of the hosts of the Nigerian Forestry Roundtable with my friend Olaoluwa and other colleagues, the team members, Jumoke Oguntimei, Adigun Azan, and Ayole Samuel from Canada. We appreciate you, sir. Okay, this is like a great opportunity, because while doing our internship at FRIN, we couldn't access you physically and interact with you. But having this opportunity is it's immeasurable. It's immeasurable. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Meshach, for that. And also, I would like to appreciate the International Forestry Students Association for their unending support. You know, each time we call on the IFSA headquarters that we need your support, we need your platform to host our event. They are always there. And we have the Vice President of the International Forestry Students Association online. Simon, can we have a closing remark from you? Simon, very quickly.
Yeah. Okay. Again, thank you for organizing this. Something really great. And yeah, always available as IFSA to try to help and try to create more opportunities for forestry students in the world and also in Nigeria in this case.
Okay, thank you, Simon. Thank you for your support. Once again, we can't thank you enough, Prof. You know, I know I've sent a lot of emails, text messages, calls. Thank you so much for your support.
Just pardon me, it's the prayer work.
Yeah, I would also love to appreciate Mr. Jide. Mr. Jide, I was in touch with him. He was in touch with me too, concerning this event. I would love to thank him for the support too. I'm trying
don't be far from him. He's one of the people that can tell you how busy forestry can be.
Yes.
They hardly sleep around me. That's how busy the professor can be.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jide Falemora. I think I got that right. Thank you once again. We are so grateful to our audience. Thank you for always joining this call. And don't forget, we are on a mission. Yes, we are on a mission. We are on a mission to preach forestry. We are on a mission to tell people more about forestry. People who have given up, people who think they've lost all hopes. We are on a mission to restore the lost hopes. And I'm glad that Professor Adepoju was able to do justice to the mission restoration today. Thank you once again, Prof. We can't thank you enough. Thank you for granting our call and for being there this morning. To all our audience, we thank you for responding to our calls always. Please join us on our next edition next month as we plan to host someone prominent in the field of forestry. Stay motivated and enjoy yourself. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye.
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 Thank you, sir. Bye.
Bye.
My pleasure. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Yes, sir. We can do after party now. You can do after party. Hello, you can do after party now. Maybe tree. After party, Abi.
Meshach.
Maybe tree. What's up?
We are still live. Let us end it.
Hold on. Let me send his email to the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please, you guys can turn on your video and appreciate everyone. Let's see your face. You can turn on your video. The meeting's over. Let's see your face. Or your faces. Okay. Let's see your faces.
Thank you. Thank you, Simon.
Thanks, Simon. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
thank you. Wow. So the faces are this beautiful, but they are behind the video. Wow.